Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening and Happy New Year. First meeting of the 2020. I'd like to call it to order Monday, January 13th, 2020. Please rise.
We'd like to take a few moments of silence for firefighters that have lost their lives. There were 6 this past month across the U.S. for a total of 2019 of 58 firefighters. So let's have a moment of silence followed by a prayer for them. God, as we reflect back over this past year and know that there are those that have given their life in service for others, we thank you for them. We thank you for their dedication and pray that you will be with the families and those who have experienced loss, that you will just help them find peace and comfort. And Lord, we ask for protection as we go into a new year for the firefighters here in Bonita, that you'll watch over them and their families, that you'll guard them and keep them from harm. Just to guide and direct them. Thank you for their hearts and for their desire to help with the lives of others. And Lord, I pray that you'll be with the new year as it comes, with new leadership, and I just pray that you'll bless all of the transitions. We thank you for those that have served in the past and for the great foundation that has been laid. Just guide and direct in all that is done and said. It's in Christ's name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public comment on agenda items this evening. I don't have any cards. Seeing none, need a motion to approve the board meeting minutes from December 2nd, 2019, regular meeting.
So move.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
One motion, December 2019 and current expenditures and ACH payments, the acknowledgement of financial report, acknowledgement of wire transfers and transfers between accounts, and the budgeted purchase orders over $10,000.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now, this is always one of my personal favorites, when we
This is our next, for the presentation, it's going to be the Phoenix Ward. I'm going to turn it over to Assistant Chief Richie Scott.
Good afternoon, everyone. So it's our privilege again and honor to recognize a crew of emergency responders, firefighters, EMT, and paramedics that responded to a person in cardiac arrest, without pulse, without breathing, clinically deceased, and restore life to that person. That's what a Phoenix Award is for. And we're, again, honored to be able to do that again. And today we actually have our survivor in the audience. And before we're done, she wants to come up and have a few words or say a few words about the crew. So I'm going to review the call quickly, and then we'll invite her up. This was on August 15th of this past year at 5:15 in the afternoon. The call came in. We were on scene under 5 minutes. CPR, chest compressions, were initiated by a family member. As you all know, every time we review one of these, we always take this opportunity to talk about the common thing that all our survivors have is that someone initiates care, in this case, a family member. That's the common denominator in the people that survive. So we continue to pass that message. We continue to train not only our own personnel, of course, but as many members of the public as possible with that message. So we always take that opportunity to share that on these events. Within a few minutes of on scene, of course, CPR was taken over by us and Medic 37. We inserted an eye gel. We managed to get an interosseous needle. We hooked up the cardiac monitor, delivered the first dose of epinephrine, all within the first 6 minutes of on scene. And within 5 minutes after that, our patient restored to ROSC, or return of spontaneous circulation. So after that, we got the patient ready to transport because they had a blood pressure and a pulse. One of our firefighters rode in. The patient rearrested in the back of the unit, where they had to start this process all over again. And of course, restored her back to vital signs and circulation before they got to the hospital. So I do want to say one more thing. I quickly go through that because before Ms. Williams comes up. We talk, many times we talk in here when we introduce our crews about how many Phoenixes they have. And I don't mean to ever say we make light of it, but it becomes a topic of conversation on the floor. Oh, I have 6, I have 7, I have 8. So we make these somewhat complacent, or we take them for granted. I don't think we really do, but it becomes that way, and that's a good thing, right, that we have that many. What I want to remind the individuals that we're honoring tonight with their care, and I think Ms. Williams coming up and talking reminds us, these are huge, huge differences that we're making in people's lives. So never take it for granted. Never think you're not making a difference no matter how many of these you have, because it's this individual, it's their family, it's every single person they affect. And all those, one of those movies like The Butterfly Effect, how many people does that person affect for the rest of their lives that we made that change? So at that point, I want to invite Deanna Williams to come up and share a few words with the crews that saved her. Thank you. Thanks.
Not be here. Thank you for inviting me here. I couldn't not be here. What if you had not been here that day? The funny thing about that day was at 4:30, I had an appointment with my doctor. I had just come home from the doctor. Everything was fine. I didn't feel bad. I had no signs. I wasn't sick. I just got short of breath and couldn't get dressed, so everybody got to know me well. And what weird things go through your mind, because I was thinking, well, nobody's going to do CPR because I'm naked. But anyway, that's what went through my mind. My brother didn't know CPR. Never thought he'd have to know CPR. And we all think that. We'll never be in that situation. But I think it's our civil duty to learn CPR, first aid. We all should know that, because we don't know. I had no signs, no symptoms. I coded again in the hospital. I went, that was Thursday night, I went in. I was on a ventilator Friday morning when I woke up. They gave me a 10% chance. I don't, it's a miracle. And the help that they helped my brother go through the CPR over the phone so he could bring me back to life, to help till you got there. And then it was in your hands. And I just, we need to all learn CPR, first aid. It is our duty. These kids in high school, they need to know that these opportunities are out there, that they need to start learning these now, because it's needed everywhere. You know, I just can't thank you enough. And I will do my best to be there when somebody needs me, because that's what I'm here for. That's the only thing I can think of. I don't know why I woke up, but I thank God I did. And thank you all. I really appreciate it.
So now let's bring up our crew. Lieutenant Paramedic Tom Harrison, Firefighter EMT Sean Linehan, Firefighter Paramedic Zach Lindgren, Firefighter Paramedic Michael Burkhart Jr., and Firefighter EMT Nicholas Kemmerer. These were your survivors. Besides, I think we should give her a job here for promoting our CPR.
You know what, I tell everybody, because you're going through a normal day. I had just been to my doctor. He's been fired. But, you know, I was just my doctor. I didn't have any signs or symptoms. I just got short of breath and said, better call an ambulance. He was out back fishing, you know. And then I thought I went and laid in my bed, but no, I laid on the floor in the living room apparently. But anyway, it was easy access. But you guys had a hell of a run up to the house, because you guys couldn't get in the driveway, and it's a long driveway. So I just appreciate you guys. There's nothing, words can't express how much gratitude I have for you and what you do and the talents and education you guys have. And I really appreciate it.
Okay. Is this your first one? Huh? Mike, this is your first one?
Awesome. Right.
Yeah, please.
It's awesome to be here.
All right. Next, we have some service awards acknowledgement. We have 15-year. We have 4 people that I'd like to acknowledge. I'm going to do them one at a time since some of their family members are here and everything. First one is Terry Bunnell. Terry, as I said, is a 15-year veteran of the Bonita Springs Fire Department. He's a go-to guy on A shift. His BC readily puts firefighters with him, so he can mentor them. Terry's a member of our USAR team. He's tech level in all the disciplines. He's been on deployments, so Terry's one of those guys that goes above and beyond. He's a hazmat tech, and he's a real mentor on A shift, and I know their A shift battalion chief really leans on him. His lieutenants lean on him every day. So at this time, I'd like to call up Terry Bunnell for his 15-year pin. Next one on the list is Mike Koshlap. Mike also is a 15-year employee here. Mike, we kind of stole from Collier County EMS 15 years ago, so we made a nice little steal for that. Mike's also hazmat chemistry medic. He's also certified as an air medic also, so he has those certification. He's a regular go-to guy at Station 3, I believe it is right now, with Lieutenant Booker on B shift. So the Mike and Mike show, they do quite a bit with training new paramedics. So at this time, I'd like to call Mike up. Congratulate him for 15 years. Next on the list is Mike Mendez. I don't see him in here, but he is a A-shift lieutenant, Army veteran. He's a medic and lieutenant. Like I said, on A-shift, he's also a hazmat technician, so Mike's well-respected too. He's actually Terry's lieutenant, Firefighter Bonnell's lieutenant, so he readily gets new firefighters, so the both of them train new firefighters every time we get them at our Station 2. The next one on the list is Alan Saruchar. I don't see him here either. But Alan's an acting lieutenant. He's been an acting lieutenant for, I think, 4 years now. They're getting ready to take their new test actually next month, so hopefully he scores high on that and will be one of the new lieutenants coming on. Actually, Alan just got married, and he's one of our new boat operators at our Station 27. So congratulations to him. And lastly, we have Beverly. I won't butcher your last name. Gervasi. I've been practicing. Close enough. Actually, for those of you who don't know, Beverly was a temp. We hired her. We needed some extra help when some things were going. Some people had quit and retired, so we hired Beverly as a temp. And actually, once we seen what she could do, we decided to keep her. Told the temp agency that we can't have her back. On my notes here, I have that she's Lisa's right and left-hand person. So she helps a lot with our billing, our accounts receivable, and our payroll. So thanks to her, every 2 weeks we get paid. The other thing that Bev's done here of late, since one of our persons has left, is she's taken over the whole Toys for Tots. Between her and Barb, one of our CERT members, they rearranged this whole and arranged all this Toys for Tots from the whole month of December. So we couldn't do it without her. So at this time, it's Beverly's 5-year anniversary, so I'd like to call her up. Sir, if I may.
Sure.
Firefighter Lenahan just walked in the room. I'd like to
Absolutely.
recognize him, or if Chief Scott would like to recognize him for his Phoenix.
Yeah, come on up. He wasn't here earlier.
Not used to the 4 o'clock.
This is firefighter Sean Lanahan, and he was on the call, the Phoenix Award call also, and this is his first Phoenix Award, so congratulations, firefighter Lanahan. That's all the presentations I have at this time,
Okay.
sir.
We can take a couple of minute recess here for anybody that doesn't want to stay for all the excitement, the rest of the excitement for the meeting. You're welcome to stay, but you're also, nobody's going to be upset if you leave. Okay, we can get back to live action here. Commissioner's business. Start with Commissioner Murphy.
No business today.
Commissioner Casella.
I know we haven't, it's up on the new business, but I just want to thank Greg for all his work with Station 27, with all the paperwork that had to be done in the last couple of weeks with all what's going on, so thank you for all that work. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Commissioner Slakta.
Amen. I agree with 27. That used to be my district, and now Norris got it, so just great.
Everything they said, thank you, Chairman, everything they said, I know you worked on your days off, you don't get days off. And you
That's
also,
fine.
you also did some stuff for the stations, for the guys, they asked for some armor all stuff, and I know you took care of that, and thank you very much.
All right, no problem.
And from where I stand, you know, Chief and I spend a lot of time together, and it's a pleasure. It's always been a pleasure working with him before, and I think he's in the right seat, and I think he's going to continue steering the ship the way it needs to be steered, so we're happy to have him.
Thank you.
Next item is old business. I'm not going to call anybody by name. If you got some old business, just shout it out. Anybody got anything they want to talk about?
Chairman, if you would, if you mind, under old business, I know last month we talked a little bit about the room and the, and getting with Antonio, we're still working on that.
the video room,
The
yeah.
video room, so we're still working on that
Yeah.
right now.
Okay.
I've spoken to him today, you know, Christmas and the holidays.
Sure.
So we're going to get together the first week in February and discuss an RFP and RFQ for
Perfect.
that. So just bring you up to speed on your old
Thank you.
business.
Under new business, I need a motion for the disposal of assets report.
I'll make that motion. I'll second it.
One correction, please.
Yep.
The mannequins on there, you'll notice about a third of the way or two-thirds of the way down, there's 3 mannequins on there that were disposed of. We're deciding to keep those for another month or two to try and make one good mannequin out of it. So we're pulling those off.
So with that exception, all in favor?
Aye.
Chief's employment contract, need a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion proudly. I'll second it, unfortunately.
All in favor?
Aye.
Commissioner policy update, need a motion to approve that?
I'll make that motion. I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
The amendment to Station 27 lease agreement,
So move.
motion?
second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. At this point, Florida Safe Investment Pool, Jeff Kern, I believe, is going to come up and say a couple of words to us, or? That's my understanding.
Just for the record, Florida Safe Investment Pool is similar to the one we have now with Water Walker and with our money market at Bank United. So it's just another avenue that we can use to do an investment and not put all our eggs in one basket. So Jeff, you can want to hand that out. Jeff's been around the block a few times. He was with another company and with this new company. We come in, myself, Chief Daigle, and
Thanks.
Administrative Finance Director Gendron, all met with them about a month ago now, maybe a little bit longer than that. And we thought it was a good deal. We think it's a good fit, and we think it's worth trying out at least for a short time to see how it works out.
Well, in English, in terms that some of us up here can understand, let us know what you want us to do.
Okay, all right. Well, I appreciate it, new Chief Greg. I think it's great that you're back in the spot. Thank you, Chairman Lowen and fellow commissioners for having us. And yes, we're a company out of Chicago area. Have about 130 employees. We manage or have under assets about 30 billion, so quite a bit larger than where I was before. And we do a lot of different investments. We have the local government investment pool, like you had prior, but we're also we are a bank funding group, so we have access to banks throughout the country, but mainly here in Florida, which are QPD banks. I think what we had been offering the Bonita Springs Fire, we have a money market account that is QPD, and it's at 180 for 6 months, which is quite better than most of the stable assets in the LGIPs. So you're fully collateralized under Chapter 280. Rate is set for 180 for 6 months, and after that it floats off of the Fed funds target rate. You can add to it if you want, and so that's kind of what we're offering now, but we have a lot of different other things. We have CDs that we could ladder for you all. And
Obviously, the money is accessible.
Accessible, yes. In this money market, it's just like any money market. You have access that same day. You can add to it or leave it in there, but that rate is about as best we can see in the marketplace. The bank is looking to maybe drop that in the next week or so, so I think it's a good time to jump on that. Most of the other LGIPs are running in the mid-170s, and as you know, rates have been trending down, and we expect them to continue trending down, maybe another Fed cut within 2020. At least that's what the market's talking about. So this would be a good opportunity to have a very safe and liquid fund. So that's for starters.
So then you can access your money and there's no penalty for
No penalty. Just like with your CD or with your money markets at the bank. Yeah, and so with that, are there any other questions? I mean, I won't
No,
talk too much
no,
about
that's
it.
fine. I think, I know you spent quite a bit of time talking with Lisa and the chief, and they're the ones that steer all this money, and we sit here and try and make as much as we can with what we have, so if, appreciate that.
Yeah, and again, we're sponsors of FASD. We're kind of the company's new to FASD, but we're going to make that same commitment we did before.
Right.
And I'm certainly going to make that commitment along with Renee O'Day, who's here in Florida. We're gonna do whatever we can to make more money for you safely. And again, we can do more than just an LGIP.
Right.
So we have access to treasuries, agencies, laddering, whatever you want to do. So we'll make the recommendations. We don't charge for that. There's no extra fees. So I think it's perfect thing
Sounds
for this.
reasonable. Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Chairman, just for full disclosure, also, our current rate's 160, so it's better than what we're getting right now at our money market.
Well, again, this is a motion that we're going to vote to approve, assuming, it's fine with us, I assume, but it comes from, if you're happy with it, Lisa and Chief,
Yes.
then it's a no-brainer. So you all
Yes,
right with that?
we're good with it.
Motion?
So move. I'll second that motion.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Thanks.
Now, this would be to approve the account to do that, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Perfect. You can look at that at your leisure.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you all. Thank you. Move fast.
I was going to defer to you.
It's okay.
Now we move on to Chief's report.
Yes, sir. Basically, mine's tonight is just for informational purposes, if you need. I just have a couple, 4 or 5 things just to give you guys some updates on some things going on. Just a reminders of Friday at 3 o'clock is a change of command ceremony. That will be at 3 o'clock out back here. If we do have bad weather, we'll move it into the bay. After that, at 5 o'clock, we'll be going to Artichoke and Company for a reception kind of / retirement for the chief and either a boo-hoo or woo-hoo, whatever you feel about me.
Excuse me, Chief, what time is it on Friday?
Friday, it's 3 o'clock here for the ceremony, then 5 o'clock at Artichoke and Company.
Do we need to wear any of the bulletproof vests when we go to the party?
No, I hope not.
We have 5 of them, don't we?
We have a couple dozen. The other thing that's going on, just to give you a brief overview of what's happening this month around here, Bonita Springs Fire Department, Estero Fire Department, and San Carlos Fire Department sponsored a firefighter symposium that we're going to send firefighters to. It's 3 days in a row with different instructors throughout the United States. We got the local one that I know, he's coming out of Fort Lauderdale. His name's Mike Salzano. He's a battalion chief with Fort Lauderdale Fire, and he's going to come over and do something. Then we have 2 other instructors coming in. It's
Where's that going to be done?
Estero Fire Department. They're there for 3 days, and it's the 14th, 15th, and 16th. So the other thing that we're having in here starting tomorrow is updated training for Mobilize, which is our inspection program that we use. Since we've had new inspectors come on and they never got their initial training, it was just like, hey, this is the way we do it, this is the way you should do it. We decided with the new fire marshal, she decided to bring in the company itself and make sure everybody's got it right from the horse's mouth. So we have that tomorrow, starting tomorrow. Leadership is also Friday, Bonita Springs Chamber of Commerce Leadership Group. It's Public Safety Day, so they'll be here in the morning from 9 until about 11:45.
Busy Friday?
Yeah, this Friday. Yeah, busy Friday. It's going to be a busy Friday. Then the following week is Fire Rescue East. It's the annual convention up in it's in Daytona area. We're going to send 4 to 5 guys up to that. So you guys seen the per diems on it. We're going to send, I think, 4 guys up to that. And then the following week, just so everybody knows, we have FASD in Tallahassee. We're making schedules right now to talk to local delegation and anybody else of any power, because there are a few issues that are coming down that we would like to get changed from our website. Right now, we're required to put certain things on our website. FASD has now got 2 bills out there, or a bill, both in the House and the Senate, we're the only ones that have to do it. Cities don't have to do it. Other municipalities don't have to do it. So we are now making arrangements to meet with our local delegations to promote this, and also anybody of any power that we would want to, want us to hear it. So we have those meetings starting to get planned right now. Chief Cambreri from San Carlos Fire Department is making those. And I spoke to him last Thursday. So, and that's all I have for right now.
Okay, thank you. Assistant Chief Scott.
I have nothing, sir.
Okay. Deputy Chief Madden's report is in our packet. Nice job. We welcome Deputy Chief Andrew Schmidt. You want to say anything? You have anything you want to add to the conversation?
No, thank you. Excited.
And welcome Fire Marshal Janet Washburn, and her report is in there. I thought the thing of interest, when it's been a long time since I read one of those, is the difference in the numbers on a monthly basis. It's like they don't seem to be spread out as evenly as you would think they would be. But thank you for presenting that to us.
Mr. Chairman, real quick, and I spoke to you about it, but next month, because of the new promotions with Deputy Chief Schmidt and promotion of
Right.
Chief
You do the
Scott,
presentation.
we're going to do presentations next month, so I don't want to
At next meeting.
do it. And we'll have also the new battalion chief and the new lieutenant also. So that would be
Looking forward
expect
to that. Well deserved. Any public comment? Seeing none, take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thanks for coming.